Hey guys, Matt here, and today we're going to be talking about. Wait, what the heck?
Interrupt whatever it is you're doing for a Bikini Bottom news special report. Bikini Bottom is in disarray. Innocent citizens and beloved landmarks have disappeared into strange magical portals.
Well, I was going to talk about Halo, but let's talk about this. SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake is the newest 3D platformer featuring everybody's favorite nostalgia-fueled sponge that's published by thqnordic and developed by Purple Lamp, the same studio that developed Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, which is exactly the game we'll be comparing the Cosmic Shake to, considering the fact that Battle for Bikini Bottom is pretty much the gold standard for SpongeBob games. And at first glance, yeah, this looks better than Rehydrated. I mean, dang, SpongeBob actually has depth to his face craters, and all the other characters have seen huge improvements to their character models when compared to Rehydrated. Animations have also improved immensely, making it feel less like a licensed kids game and more like a 3D cartoon. And the environments, the environments. I don't know if it's the bright, gorgeous colors, all the shiny objects, or if they just used better 3D models and textures, but damn does this game look good. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a few minor gripes I have. Objects and enemies from far away have a very noticeable low frame rate. Balloon Patrick flips into objects, and this woman's nose bugs the shit out of me. Like, come on, Purple Lamp. I've played this game. I know that you know that Maya has a smoothing tool. So why didn't you put a spit shine on this lady's schnoz? This is probably the thing that bugs me the most, and I think it's only because I know fixing it would take less than a minute to do. But like I said, only minor issues to an otherwise visually pleasing game.
It's like a perfect opportunity to start a documentary about Bikini Bottom's best restaurant.
Clancy, is that you? Damn, I'm already gonna have to give another point to the Cosmic Shake. I mean, they were able to get all the original voice actors together for this, something that wasn't achieved with Battle for Bikini Bottom. And for the most part, they all sound perfect. I'd say one minor complaint is that Squidward sounds a bit off at times with how he delivers certain lines.
No, not you. Not today. This day will be about relaxation and inspiration. I am not to be disturbed on my precious day off. I will spend it with the love of my life. Myself. And my art, of course.
But that's coming from someone who hasn't watched the show in over a decade, so I don't know if that's how he sounds now, but for me, it was a little odd. The soundtrack is also pretty good, having music that fits the themes of each level, but I think I'm gonna have to give the soundtrack to Battle for Bikini Bottom, just because the boss music in Cosmic Shake doesn't slap nearly as hard, in my opinion. But now let's move on over to gameplay. The core gameplay mechanics of the Cosmic Shake are pretty solid, but don't really do much to deviate from Battle for Bikini Bottom other than removing the bubble moves. I mean, you do get one bubble attack, but it's really just there for stunning enemies, and it doesn't really feel necessary until the pirate level a few hours in when these tennis jellies first get introduced. Other than that, we have two new abilities, the Pizza Glider and Karate Kick. The Pizza Glider is okay, I guess. I just really wish you didn't descend at such a steep angle. It makes getting across certain obstacles a bit annoying. However, the Karate Kick though, ooh, I really like this new mechanic. It's used for both combat and traversal, and you feel like such a badass flying through the air, knocking out enemies, or hopping balloon to balloon through the sky to get to certain platforms. It's just flat out good fun. Honestly, gameplay is just sort of a toss-up for me. I'm sorry. Like I said before, the Cosmic Shake doesn't really do much to differentiate itself from other SpongeBob games, but what it does do, it does well. On the other hand, Battle for Bikini Bottom did a decent amount to differentiate itself from other SpongeBob games with some of the bubble moves, as well as the fact that you could play as both Sandy and Patrick, but both have gameplay that works so well with their levels. So in my mind, I'm gonna have to call this a draw. But speaking of levels, let's talk about those. In the Cosmic Shake, you have 7 levels to explore, as well as a hub area that connects them all. You got Wild West Jellyfish Fields, Dry Downtown Bikini Bottom, Pirate Goo Lagoon, Halloween Rock Bottom, Prehistoric Kelp Forest, Medieval Sulfur Fields, and finally Jelly Glove World. And upon entering one of these areas and playing for a little bit, you can immediately tell that the structure of the game differs from Battle for Bikini Bottom. Levels are much more linear than Battle for Bikini Bottom, which for some people might be an issue, but for me, as long as it works well, then I'm happy. And the Cosmic Shake's overall level design works really well, and still offers a decent amount of exploration. Some of the standout levels for me were definitely Halloween Rock Bottom and Jelly Glove World. Collectibles in the Cosmic Shake are pretty lackluster. You got the jelly, which is like the shinies from Battle for Bikini Bottom, except they aren't nearly as important, since jelly is only used to unlock new costumes for SpongeBob. To be fair though, the costumes are really cool, and give nods to the show. I mean, they even included a costume from a banned episode, so credit where credit's due, and at least jelly isn't as stupid as the coins in the game. Coins feel like a lazy attempt to pad out the unlocks. You can get coins by either finding them in the levels or by doing like anything. Each time you collect a certain number of coins, you unlock a tier of costumes to purchase with jellies. So essentially, coins give you the privilege of actually using the main collectible. It's literally like having to pay a cover charge to enter a party city. There's other collectibles you can obtain after talking to certain characters, but these were also poorly executed since they don't appear in the environments until after you've spoken to said characters, meaning there's just a ton of empty paths leading to nothing until you progress far enough to get the quests. But Matt, isn't there anything cool and rewarding like the golden spatulas? Oh, thanks for reminding me of the dumbest collectible in the game. So they brought spatulas back, but instead of using them as a means of progression, instead of giving you a special little animation that actually makes you feel like you accomplished something, Purple Lamp decided, let's just put them in. I played through this game 2 times and revisited several levels, and I still have no clue what these things give you. I also have no clue how many I've collected, since they didn't even bother to put a counter to show how many spatulas I've found. Listen, you already know my verdict on the collectibles, so let's talk about the story. SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake starts out as a relatively average day for our yellow protagonist, with the exception of going to Glove World with our best bud Patrick. Woo! There we meet a gypsy woman called Madame Cassandra, who gives SpongeBob a bottle of dangerous, magical bubble soap that can grant the user any wish they desire.
3 hours later.
Jesus! So SpongeBob started making wishes for like everyone, and Patrick of all people notices something rather important.
Property of King Neptune. Not for use by mortals. Use sparingly and with caution.
Way to go, guys. You threw Bikini Bottom into turmoil again. First using a magic conch to wish for robots, and now this? So now it's up to SpongeBob and Balloon Patrick, yes, he's a balloon now, to enter the cosmic portals and collect jelly so Madame Cassandra can fix Bikini Bottom and save the day. Oh, and I guess you can have this magic bubble wand to save your friends or whatever. The plot is nothing special, but it's solid and it gets the job done. And how are we gonna save our friends? Well, by fighting them, of course. Alright, so for the boss fights, I'm just gonna focus on my favorites here. Same with how I handled the levels. But really quick, I want to point out the fact that I find it laughable that Prawn, Mr. Krabs, and Twitchy the Witchy are considered boss fights. I mean, they don't even have health bars, and you don't do damage to them. What? And with that out of the way, Sandy is a fantastic early game boss fight that has you utilize the dodge roll and the karate kick which I always appreciate when boss fights incorporate abilities you unlocked in their levels. Sandy has a main attack where she runs on a wheel and tries to roll you over, a secondary move that you see midway through where her wheel acts sort of like a buzzsaw, and a third where she summons bodyguards that you need to avoid. There's also jelly monsters that Sandy will spawn throughout the fight for an added challenge. However, despite all this, the boss fight is, well, it's really easy and takes maybe 5 minutes to complete, but hey, at least it's more enjoyable than Gary's. But anywho, the next boss fight we're going to talk about is Pom Pom. This boss fight genuinely surprised me because it comes straight out of my least favorite level in the entire game and almost redeems the level in my eyes. Pom Pom, or Pearl, has a main attack that's like a shockwave you have to avoid. Pearl also has a secondary attack where she cries out a fountain of tears. These tears change their positioning as she turns around, so you're gonna want to look out for the pattern to best avoid them. And just like the previous fights, there's loads of jelly monsters that spawn in frequently. This was the longest boss fight for me, but it kept me fully engaged throughout the whole fight, and I thought the way they handled knocking down the platform that Pearl was on made for a more interesting and engaging fight, something I wish any of these 3 fights had. And finally we have, well, the final boss of the game. After we find out Cassandra is, surprise, surprise, evil, Squidward donks up and Cassandra turns Squidward into a roided out jelly version of himself. Right after that, we're thrown into a cosmic portal where the fight takes place. I gotta give the final fight props. The presentation is amazing. I love the boss room. Squidward looks awesome in his jelly form, and on its own, this is a really good fight. In this final battle, you'll have to charge the leaf blower up by sucking the small jelly enemies that spawn on the arena while trying to avoid all of Jelly Squidward's attacks. Once fully charged, you'll have to fire a shot towards Madam Cassandra and continue to do this for 3 phases. However, in each phase, Squidward's attack gets progressively harder to dodge. The attacks are mostly shockwave based, kind of like with Pearl, but Jelly Squidward can release these shockwaves on different parts of the arena thanks to his tentacles. And since the leaf blower goes away after you use it, you're going to have to watch yourself and be extra careful to not get hit while you're waiting for the next leaf blower to appear. Like I said earlier, on its own, it's a great fight, and it is one of my favorites in the game, but that doesn't mean I don't have a few issues with it. The lack of epic boss music is kind of depressing, and on top of that, I felt that the final boss fight of Battle for Bikini Bottom was much more engaging overall, which makes me think about the big question this video asks. Is the Cosmic Shake better than Rehydrated? Or is it even better than the original Battle for Bikini Bottom? No! But in all honesty, it's not terrible, okay? It's not anywhere close to one of the worst SpongeBob games that I've played. If I had to rank the Cosmic Shake up against all the other SpongeBob games, I'd say that it's right behind these 3. I'd say that these 3 offered a more enjoyable experience than the Cosmic Shake. Well, I think the Cosmic Shake offered a more enjoyable experience than all the other SpongeBob games. But give the Cosmic Shake a shot. I mean, it's $40, and so what if it doesn't fully live up to Battle for Bikini Bottom or outshine it? That doesn't mean it's not a fun game, and a lot of people are enjoying it. So seriously, check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Some of my footage got donked up while making this video, so there will be a link in the description down below to a channel where I got some of my boss fight footage from. So check them out. Also, let me know in the comments down below. Are you planning on picking up the Cosmic Shake? And if you already have it, what do you think of it? Do you think it's better than Battle for Bikini Bottom? Or are you kind of like me and think it's just okay? I've been Resuraptor, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace! Well, I was just gonna talk about the funeral I came from, but let's talk about that. Oh my god, I shake the whole fucking table. I'd have to rank it below these. Ooh.